Hey everybody, it's Brian from Strong Tower again, and we're in our fourth week of why brain training is best. I'm basically bringing you some basics of neurology and why we think that working with a brain-based approach or a neurocentric approach is really valuable and actually maybe the best way to approach health and fitness. So today we're going to talk about a little bit more on sensory versus motor. We talked about last week sort of the organization of the brain, how it fuels and activates from bottom to top and back to front, how the sensory cortex is right next to the motor cortex and actually gets fuel before the motor cortex, and areas that fire together wire together, areas that fuel together activate and get fuel together. So we want people to move well in the gym setting, obviously, and a lot of times they need to actually feel well. And what I mean by that is have good sensory input from the five sensors before they're going to move well. Today we're talking about it more at a peripheral nerve and a receptor level. So what that means is you have nerve endings that provide a lot of information to the brain, and there's different receptors that need different types of activation or stimulus in order to send that information to the brain because the information is different. So there's receptor beds for like sharp and dull. Can you sense sharp and dull in every area in the skin? Is that information getting to the brain the way it should? And then can you sense vibration? Is that information getting to the brain accurately on both sides with the same level of intensity? It should be. How about soft touch? How about hot versus cold? Can you sense that in your right pinky toe the same as your left pinky toe? It should be. It should be accurate information getting to the brain, because if it's not, the brain is going to basically raise threat levels. It's more of a threatening stimulus or input to the brain when it used to have information in an area and now it's lacking information for whatever reason. A couple of those reasons can be injury, illness. Surgeries are a really good one at blocking nerve information or receptor information from getting to the brain because of the scar tissue that forms. So what we want to help with in terms of feeling well before moving well is this thing called map clarity. So map clarity, basically, if you look at these two mock maps that I just quick drew up, you have a clear map on the top and then obviously a blurry map on the bottom. So in the blurry map, it's going to be really tough to get where you're going, obviously. If you're new to the area, it's not familiar territory for you. So from a movement standpoint, a lot of times we're asking people to move an area in a certain glide or circle or position that maybe A, they're not used to, and then B, if they don't have all the sensory information that they need, they don't even necessarily have a really good awareness of where that joint is in space. So another reason why we need to feel well before move well, what that's going to do is improve map clarity. So your brain actually has topographically organized maps for different areas of the body. So in the brain, the pointer finger is next to the middle finger, just like in the body, the pointer finger is next to the middle finger. So with just kind of current neuroscience research, they've actually mapped out the different brain areas so they know, okay, this area correlates to this area of the body. So if we have an area where there was a surgery and maybe there's some scar tissue that's formed, there might be missing information, and that doesn't just impact the body, it's also impacting on the level of kind of higher order nervous system and at the brain level. So hopefully that makes sense. If we start to improve your sensory maps, we're going to improve the entire map. Your whole body will actually benefit from improving the map of an area. So it's not just your knee or just your hip that you're impacting. You're actually impacting the brain and the nervous system. You're lowering threat levels, and then your entire body is going to move better, not just the area that you're trying to improve. That's the initial goal, yes, local, but then we actually are going to create this global change. So a lot of benefits to approaching things from a more comprehensive, systematic approach when you look at sensory before motor. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have questions, drop them in below. Let us know. And don't forget to like and share the video. We need your help to get the word out. Thanks.